President Halimah Yacob has also given the assurance that more efforts are underway to improve social safety nets. Now, she says that these will help Singaporeans better cope with disruptions and setbacks in life. That's especially amid the increasing uncertainty that we're experiencing in the world economy and rapid changes that we're seeing in technology. A part of the government's efforts include keeping public housing affordable and accessible for Singaporeans, especially those buying their first home. It's also stepping up preventive care through the Healthier SG strategy. Steps are also being taken to enable more seniors to age in their homes with their loved ones close by. The government also plans to extend its support for workers beyond the pandemic.
Beyond helping displaced workers, we will further strengthen our Skills Future ecosystem to bring everyone along on our digitalization and industry transformation journey. We will enable every citizen to do a significant skills reboot in the course of their working lives. This will help to keep them employable, whether they progress further in their respective fields or transit across to jobs in new areas of growth.
Here's a look at how one entrepreneur has bounced back from adversity with the help of social safety nets.
I'm Jun Xian. I guess you can call me a serial entrepreneur. Over the past decade or so, started already. I helped to start and launch up to maybe 4 different startups. My dad is also a businessman, so it's always kind of been in the family. The first startup is a project called Funnel. Our idea was to replace the job that we used to do as investors ourselves and to make it available to the masses. Subsequently, other projects that I worked on and helped to launch included a Shield, cybersecurity, and then Move Us, which is a cross-border relocation, and now Goodwill, personal financial productivity tool. And we choose that career path knowing kind of the ups and downs that come with it. Basically bearing a nimble, innovative, problem-solving mindset. When we were first setting up the company, there are initiatives to help young entrepreneurs, given that we might not have sufficient nest egg to take on a financial risk of a business not working out, all the way to hiring. As our companies grew, we started working very closely with Enterprise SG. We co-share in the risk of launching the initiatives, and that helps entrepreneurs, decide quicker, right, and be a lot more adventurous. I would say a life of startup operators tends not to have a very defined start point or an end point. It's a continuous journey of understanding and identifying problems that exist in the market. To me, probably the most important skill set that entrepreneurs have to develop would be adversity quotient. It's really what defines whether you can run a longer race or not, given that there are so many variables and so many unknown variables out there.
MPs are welcoming plans to strengthen Singapore's social fabric. CNA's Sherry Look spoke to Carrie Tan, a member of the Government Parliamentary Committee for Social and Family Development.
President Halimah says the government is studying how to extend the kind of support they offered during COVID-19, even beyond the pandemic. So what are some forms this help could take?
Well, I think during COVID, government got very good at distributing support where it's needed in a rather effective and efficient manner. For example, we can see that the CDC voucher, which we are now expecting, come to expect every year almost, is a very highly digitalized way and convenient way to get financial support to a very large number of Singaporeans, almost every Singaporean. So I do believe that these capabilities that we've developed through COVID will continue to stay, and where the government deems that is needed, and I think the stresses of inflation, etc., due to the global uncertainties, if it starts to take an even greater toll on our citizens, I believe the government will be highly responsive as they've always had.
But there's a sense that social safety nets are not just depending on the government for handouts. They're also taking responsibility of your own career, your own well-being. For instance, upskilling through Skills Future. So what are some ways in which this training can be made more accessible and more convenient?
I think Skills Future has been a very tenacious effort by the government, and we've seen how it's been reiterated and iterated many different ways. Personally, I signed up for a Skills Future course lately, and I was surprised by how little I had to pay for a 5-day course. And I believe that a lot of this information is yet to be very widely known by the public, or that people could just be very busy with their everyday stresses and work to pay a lot of attention to this. I feel that we can definitely strengthen the outreach and communication and bolster some of this community enrollment efforts to help bring the information about this subsidies and causes to the everyday Singaporean amidst their busy lives. And we've seen how Skills Future, Workforce Singapore, etc. has been coming to do a lot of outreach, even at shopping malls in the neighbourhoods, etc. And I think these are efforts that will probably be scaled up, and I will be looking forward to support them in my constituency as well.
And the government is also helping seniors help themselves through Healthier SG. So based on what you've seen in your constituency, how successful do you think this system is? And what else can be done to help seniors age comfortably in the community?
Well, I've been very encouraged by all the aunties and uncles and elderly in Yishun South. They've been very proactive in maintaining their own well-being. We have very active brisk walking groups and various exercise interest groups. And I think this Healthier SG is a really much needed and very bold step to involve the primary stakeholders in our healthcare system, the GPs, into this fold, right, into this effort. And I think what we can do is to educate our residents, educate our citizenry, and especially the seniors, that they can be more proactive whenever they visit the doctors. I think it takes two to clap. Not just the onus on the GPs to lay out the plan, but also for us in the community to educate our seniors that they can look forward to such a plan.